It does feel helpless when you're watching it burn and there's just nothing you can do.
At least 5 people dead, many more injured as several fires burn across Southern California. More than 7,000 firefighters now battling at least 5 major wildfires around the Los Angeles area, as well as several smaller fires, too.
Thousands of structures have been damaged, destroyed, more than 100,000 people evacuated. Joining us from Los Angeles this morning, ABC News reporter Melissa Adan. Melissa, any relief from the wind there?
This is the big story right now. Just last night, we did get a break in the high winds, and that has been a huge relief for firefighters as they finally were able to launch aircraft to deploy water drops. That has been incredibly helpful because we just saw some fires break out in very urban areas, one over in the Hollywood Hills, which forced evacuations through West Hollywood. It was just remarkable. But unfortunately, we are expecting to see our Santa Ana winds increase again as we are still going to be under a high wind warning through Friday night. So that has been extended.
Melissa, we've heard that hydrants and tanker trucks have been running dry. Is that true? And how are firefighters, working around that?
What an unfortunate incident that was confirmed that it happened over in Pacific Palisades for the Palisades fire. The Los Angeles firefighters there said that essentially some hydrants ran dry and it hindered them while they were trying to fight off the flames. But local water officials from the LA Department of Water and Power, they confirmed that, look, they were pumping water from aqueducts and groundwater, but they say the demand was so high it wasn't enough to refill the tanks in Pacific Palisades that helped basically pressurize hydrants for the neighborhood, causing many to go dry. That was really problematic. But on top of that, during the Pacific Palisades fire, the winds were so strong that the air support was grounded. And usually with these dynamic wildfires, air support is so critical if you want to save homes and save structures. And that was not in play. It was all a ground assault. It is very hilly community, so it made it incredibly challenging then and so exasperating. You can imagine when firefighters there were getting some hydrants that went dry.
Oh, it's just a nightmare. ABC News reporter Melissa Adan joining us this morning from Los Angeles. We know, Melissa, there are firefighters from other states. Arizona firefighters are there coming in. Do fire officials feel like there are enough personnel?
Yes, that's a great question. Because we were aware of this rare, particularly dangerous event that the National Weather Service had put out days in advance, CAL FIRE had staffed up. They had sent Northern California firefighters. They had made sure that they had an extra equipped, firefighting team on hand. However, no one would have predicted that we have multiple, right now, at least even up to like 6 small wildfires that keep breaking out, because every time a small one breaks out, you're sending resources there. They're absolutely stretched thin. We heard this on the local news last night. I was hearing our local anchors call out saying that city officials are asking for firefighters to get in place to respond. So it is really unnerving.
My gosh. Melissa, you're kind of painting a picture of this can just happen anywhere at any moment. Is that really the case there?
Unfortunately so. I think it was something that I didn't really believe. I would think at first, okay, this happens in these communities, these fires that I've covered myself before. But right now, what we're noticing is that in any canyon, a fire could break out. And as we saw in Hollywood Hills, it broke out in a canyon. And then another fire started in Studio City. And that's such an urban area. And then it was contained to one home. It spread quickly to another home. And then you're suddenly evacuating Studio City, Toluca Lake, West Hollywood, incredibly urban areas. I think this has really alarmed so many of us Angelenos. We are on alert. And I think definitely we need to make sure that there's plans in place that we can be protected in the future.
My oldest daughter lives in L.A. She lives actually near Koreatown, near downtown, and she was telling me, Dad is really awful with the wind. It was just rattling the windows, but we feel like we're safe because we're like in, basically a concrete jungle there. When I lived in L.A., I was in Topanga Canyon, absolutely a different situation there with all sorts of growth around us. Is there worry that this is going to actually make it into really super urban areas like where there is a concrete jungle? I mean, that just seems beyond belief.
It does seem beyond belief, right? And I had felt that way too. But I have to start thinking factually here. Look at what happened on PCH. The homes along Malibu on PCH burned to the ground. They are on the ocean, the coastline, and PCH. it is possible for these fires to jump. So quite unfortunately, what we saw, if a fire breaks out anywhere in the hills, really from Hollywood Hills through Beverly Glen, it could easily come into the city. I mean, Santa Monica was under evacuation orders because of the Pacific Palisades fire. These winds are so erratic, and it's just how far these embers will fly that now a lot of us are really on alert, even those that live in urban areas.
In Los Angeles, that's ABC's Melissa Adan. Stay safe, Melissa, please. Thank you so much for joining us here in Arizona's Morning News.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.